It's annoying, but it's a bot, and it cannot go on any longer. Hang it up, flat screen. I would have dragged you regardless. So, as you can see from the title, in this vlog, I'm going to be reading the most popular books of last year and the year before. I think all of these books came out in the past 2 years. Anyways, I'm just going to read books that have been popular on BookTube, some that have made it over to BookTok, and we're just going to read 5 books that have been very, very popular. The reason why I'm reading 5, and I know I'm going to read 5, is because I can't read no more. I wish I could put more than 5 videos in books in this video, but one, I have vowed to myself to read less books this month. I do not want to read as many books as I read last month overall. I read about 18 books last month. Don't want to read that many books this month, and I am not particularly interested in reading any of these books, but I want to get these books off my shelf if I don't like them, or I want to know that these books work for me and some of y'all are right. Now, I want to start off with Y'all Are Liars. Y'all Are Liars. The books that become popular on BookTube and BookTok are the worst books you've ever read in your fucking life. Therefore, I do not believe I'm going to love all of these books. I don't even 100% believe I'm going to love any of these books, but we're going to get into it. These are the books that we are going to be reading for this video. The first book we are going to be reading is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Oteso Moshafe. Think of the most annoying person you have ever met on the internet. They love this book. Think of the most annoying BookTok person you ever seen on the internet. They love this book. This book is just for quirky white women who like have no personality outside of being quirky. Like the women who say this is their Joker, this book is their Joker, or when this movie comes out, it's gonna be their Joker. I hate that section of the internet. I just hate that section of white women on the internet, and that's what has stopped me from reading this book. This book is probably going to be perfectly fine, probably gonna be good, but just that's what has stopped me from reading this book. I owned this book for a while. I owned this book like a long time before it like made its way over to the internet. I knew about this book and I owned this book, but I just put it off because I was just like, y'all make me not want to read it. The next book that we are going to read is The Love Hypothesis. If there is any book that's probably that could get a 5-star from this video, it's probably The Love Hypothesis. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. It's just been that girl. It has just been that girl. Everyone talks about this book. This book is like a poster on every bookstore in America. Let's see if it's good. Even the people I feel like who have gone into this book and tried to give this book like a bad review, give it 4 stars. So I'm probably going to lean into the 4 and 5-star range. I'm interested. I'm excited to read it. I think it's going to be very good. I do. So we're going to read that book in this video. We're going to read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, even though I own 2 in the back. After I Do, I never read, and then there's another book I own that I have not read. Another book that women of the internet who I have no respect for, not like I have no respect for the women of the internet, this specific group of women who love this book, I have no respect for. I'm being mean, but it's true. There's just a subsection of like white women on the internet who read books who I do not like, like I never respect their opinions, and they love this book. And so I put this book off for 5 ever, but I'm gonna read it. People say the ending of this book gags them, and I'm just like, relax. I'm just starting off really nasty. Oh, Daisy Jones and the Six. I already unhauled Daisy Jones and the Six, so I actually don't have that book anymore. But I do have After I Do, and I never read Daisy Jones and the Six. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm already starting off negative. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I never read Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and I always wanted to. So when Vicious by V.E. Schwab came out, I was really big into books, and then I went off to college and kind of like dwindled away from reading a lot of books, because I was an English major and I was kind of just bogged down with that. So I never got to get to Vicious, but I am going to read Vicious, and I think I'm going to love Vicious. But The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue came out last year, and I should probably take off the Target sticker. And the Target had this special edition, and if I am nothing, I am a poser. I am always going to buy the special edition of a book, even if I have not read the book. And so when I saw this special edition and it had a little bookmark, I was like, beam me in. I'm doing it. This book is long. Not only is this book over 400 pages, but it's over 400 pages and has the smallest writing you have ever seen in your life. So like, this is gonna take me a minute. It's gonna take me a minute to get through all of these books, but I'm gonna start the video off with this book actually, because I just have to start it. I have to start it or I won't finish it by the end of this video. So I'm gonna start off with this book. Not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. Lastly, a book that came out last year. The book I'm looking forward to the least in this video. I'm going to read Project Hail Mary. I'm going to read Project Hail Mary. Why? I don't know. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy this year. Like I said, this reading year is all about me reading books on my bookshelf that I would have never gotten to otherwise. If I just read books I wanted to read, like just that I gravitate towards, none of these books would get read. And it's time. It's time to read them. Hopefully we get 2 good ones that can stick on my shelf, and then we'll know that I need to get rid of 3 more. So we are going to read all of these books in this video. Let's get into it. We are going to start with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Hello, you guys. We are back for our first update. I told you we'd be starting with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I have a few thoughts about this book. Let me begin by saying I have a headache. Reading this book is headache inducing, not because it's bad, not because it's poorly written, not because any of that. It's headache inducing because it's so long. It's so long. You almost feel like you're Addie LaRue, like you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, no one able to remember you. Like you feel like you're a part of the story, which I guess is good writing on V.E. Schwab's part, but like reading it is just not a fun experience. Here is the thing. I am going to cut this book a little bit of slack. I'm in a reading slump. I don't want to blame this book for why I'm in a reading slump, because at this point, you guys, we are well into March. Like I've been reading this book for over a week. I'm not gonna say that it's this book that has put me in a reading slump, because even the last book I read, which wasn't for any video, it took me a long time to read. It's just, I am in a reading slump, and so everything that I'm reading, like, it just frustrates me. And so reading this book, I'm just bored, and because I'm so bored, I get a headache. I get a headache reading because I'm just not at all interested in this book. Let me tell you what this book is about. So Addie LaRue, she made a deal with a dark spirit. There's a saying, don't pray to gods that come at night. Don't pray to gods that answer at night. And basically she made a deal with a god that answers at night, in which she was supposed to get married, but she did not want to spend her life like married and miserable and kind of contained. So she's like, I need something else that's not this wedding. So on the day of her wedding, she runs into the forest and she makes a deal. She wants to be free. She wants to not be in the situation that she's in. So the dark spirit gives her freedom, but in that freedom, no one remembers her. She lives life as long as she wants. She gets to be wherever she wants, go wherever she wants. But the thing is, no one remembers her for an extended period of time, not even a day. So that's what it is. So you have like 2 timelines going on. You have the timeline of when she got the curse and the beginning of it and her traveling around, and then you have 2014 where like things are happening in current day. She's been cursed for about 300 years. Back to my thoughts, I want the past days to stop. I am so over it. I am so over the timeline that's going on in the past. It just makes the book even more girthy. Like, it just makes it even more like meaty, and not in the best way. It's just like words and words and words, and I'm just like, I'm not interested. I don't care. And I know it's all going to come together. So then we also have like this romance going on. I don't know. I don't look into the books before I read the books, but like there's this like romance adjacent thing going on where like the first person ever has remembered her, which you knew was going to happen, right? So the first person has remembered her beyond a day. And so like they're starting something. I'm only at the 168th page. So like you can't see this, but the words are so small. I feel like I'm reading the freaking Holy Bible. Like, it's so small. And I'm just like, why? I don't know. I just want to finish it. I genuinely just want to finish it and say that I did it. I'm gonna finish it. The thing I will say, because I feel like the first clip of this video is so goddamn negative, and this video, I'm in a reading slump. Like, then something in this title be, I'm in a reading slump, so I'm pissed off at everything. Like, when you're in a reading slump, everything bothers you. But V.E. Schwab is a good writer. V.E. Schwab's writing is very, very good, and that's what I will give this story. The writing is excellent. It's just I don't care. Anyways, I'm going to finish this book, and I'm going to bring you guys my final thoughts on this book, and then we're going to get into a year of rest and relaxation. Hello, you guys. Since the last time you guys saw me, I have read about 100 pages. I'm on page like 250 of this book, and I never come to you guys with like like more than one like basically reading part of this. Usually I tell you guys what's going on once, then I give you guys my final thoughts, but we are not at my final thoughts yet. But I feel a lot better than I felt the last time I talked to you guys. I just had a headache. I was tired of reading the book. I don't know, it was just a lot, and like I don't feel as bad as I felt the other day. I feel a lot better about my reading experience. I think it's because like now reading it, I feel the end. Like I feel like, you know what? I only got 200 more pages to go. I keep telling myself I can read a 200-page book. That's what I tell myself each chapter. Okay, there's 200 pages left. I've read a 200-page book. I can read that in one sitting if I wanted to. So like it feels attainable. The end feels near. So I think my spirits are a little bit uplifted. But I do want to say something. Reading more, V.E. Schwab is an amazing writer. Is an amazing writer. Some of the things they say in this book are so poetic and so beautiful, and they put so much time into weaving this story and weaving this narrative, and I feel so bad because I do not care. These beautiful words, this beautiful plot, this beautiful story is being wasted on someone like me, because I am not the audience for this type of book. I respect this book, but I am not the audience for this book. Like, it's so hard for me to pick this book up because I haven't clung on to anything in the story. So I want to say the most without spoiling. So we have met the other character in the book who we are getting a POV from. So we've gotten a POV from this person earlier. Yesterday I had gotten a POV from them when I talked to you guys, but this is the first time we're really getting their side of the story and the things that are happening. It's the person that was able to remember Addie LaRue. And their POV is quite interesting. I think I'm interested in the other POVs because I'm so tired of Addie LaRue's story. That's one thing I won't give these. While I think the Addie LaRue story is just dense. It's just dense, and I'm tired of the going back and forth, the little game with Luke, the spirit. Like, it's exhausting. That part is very, very exhausting. Going back in time, following her through all of her escapades with the darkness and Luke and all of that. And then going back into the current day and following her through her escapades. And now, at least now, I'm starting to see a full-fledged story form. And I'm enjoying Henry's point of view. I enjoy getting some more characters. Henry's friends. I enjoy that part, but it's still going back in time, and we're still going back in the day, and I don't know. I'm just happy we're on like part 4, and it's literally mostly Henry if I'm gandering through this. So that's that. But overall, it's a better reading experience. I'm going to come back to you guys on the wrap up, but I think I'm going to give this book probably 3 stars. That's my guess. A 3-star read. I respect it. It just wasn't for me. That's where I'm at right now. Maybe it'll do something because I'm enjoying this part of the book way more than I enjoy the first part. So, I don't know. Hello, you guys. I have finished The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And call me crazy. I am going to give this book 4 out of 5 stars. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yes, I am going to do it. I understand why a lot of people on the tube, a lot of people who enjoy being contrarians do not enjoy this book. I want it to be you. I want it to be you. I was like, I'm going to give this book 2 stars. This book is not for me. This will not be in my best of 2022 list. It just will not. This book is not for me. But when I was cooking dinner and I was thinking about this book, I'm like, if I take out the fact that this book isn't for me, therefore I was never going to be very compelled. How did it feel? How did it feel to kind of step out of my comfort zone and go into this like fantasy, like loose, like very loose fantasy, not high fantasy, but go into like this fantastical world of devils and all types of things. And like, here's my issues. I think I'm going to give it 3.5. It's too damn long. Knowing the ending and how you get to this ending, it's just too damn long. There is just some shit in the middle where we're going back in Addie's life that is just not necessary. It's just not necessary. There's just a quicker way to get to the point. But V.E. Schwab knows that they are a good writer and they were indulging themselves. But like, no, it's just too long. Second point that's going to get taken away from it. Henry, the love interest, Henry, is just not all that compelling. Like, just not at all. Just, I enjoyed Henry's story, but Henry's story just feels like, it just feels shoved in here for like, just to make the story. And like, Henry just doesn't, it's just not all that compelling. The story about the fiance who doesn't want him. Like, yes, it's fun to read, but to me it was fun to read because it's just a change of pace because the Addie parts are so dense. But I would not say that Henry is just compelling. So when you get to the end and it's all of this stuff about sacrifice, and you're just like, but Henry isn't that, like, I haven't fallen in love with the idea that Addie and Henry are just so damn in love. The Luke in the Darkness stuff is great. It's great. It's great. It's great writing. It's great storytelling. The ending. I'm assuming a lot of people's gripes with this could also be the ending. And like, I'm with you with that as well. The ending is not, I don't know. Like, I don't mind the ending, but maybe I don't mind the ending because I'm just not that compelled. Like, maybe certain people wanted a certain thing to happen and like everything to tie up perfectly nice, but I feel like everything did kind of tie up perfectly nice. When you see Henry as a flat character like I do, the ending is fine to me because it's just like, I ain't found Henry all that great anyway. There's something in my teeth I was eating. So yeah, I'm going to give this 3.5 4 stars. I'm going to give it 3.5, but round it up on Goodreads to a 4. Like, I'm sorry. It's way too fucking long. It's way too fucking long. Would I recommend, I think certain people would love it. I know why this is sitting at like a 4.2 on Goodreads. Like, y'all can drag this book, but it is sitting at a 4.2 on Goodreads with like over 10K reviews. So like, somebody liked the shit. Someone liked the shit. And like, I don't hate it. I'm not going to give it 3 stars because it's better. This is better than a 3-star read. It's just not my type of read. So 3.5, 4 stars, whatever. V.E. Schwab, I will read more from you. I'm going to pick up Vicious. This is my call to pick up Vicious because I think I'll be more into Vicious than I am this because I'm just not into this type of stuff. So we can move on to My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Mosfe. Okay. So, I am reading My Year of Rest and Relaxation. And I have a bonnet on because I like to read this book before bed. I was laying in bed and I was like, okay, I'm almost at the halfway point. Should I update the people? And I do. I do need to update you guys because I have thoughts. There is a reason why the worst person you have ever interacted with on the internet loves this book, and more than likely, they are white or white adjacent. And it is because this book is just written with white women in mind. It is written with white women in mind. I want to believe the person who loves this book reads this book and thinks, wow, the narrator, who is unnamed, is the worst person in the world. And I do believe that the people who love this book do read this book and say, the narrator is the worst person in the world. But I think that's why they like it. I think that's why they're able to relate to this woman. I think a lot of people pride themselves on being horrible people, and they think that makes them edgy, that makes them cool, that makes them different. Like, yeah, I treat everyone around me like shit, but it's because my life is shit, and it's my life and my life and my life. And it's like, no, you're just like terrible. And that's what this book is hitting on. I'm reading this book and I'm like, wow, this pathetic human being, this pathetic human being, just reading through, like, I'm actually very intrigued on this book because it's like reading a journal entry of the most pathetic human being you've ever met. And I'm going to finish this book and be like, she's pathetic. I fear the audience for this book is reading this book and being like, wow, I too don't care about my best friend's mom having brain cancer. I too don't care about this. I too am in a relationship with a man who literally only wants to have sex with me and treats me like shit. Wow, me too. Because I don't believe that this book is, I don't believe this book is intended to be read with a critical eye either. Otessa Mosfe, I want to believe that you wrote this book and it's like, I wrote this book for people to be like, she's a bad narrator and she's sticky and she's horrible. But I'm not going to give you that. You have plausible deniability because I don't know you, and who's to say why you wrote this book. But you know exactly the audience of white women that this taps into. This taps into a particular group of white women who want to just see the worst sides of them on paper. But it's like, it's not even relatable. It's not even real. It's not even anything. I wish I could fully explain the annoyance I have with this book. This also just isn't much different than every other book that's exactly like this. It's just not that much different than any other story about a white woman who was flailing through life and trying, like, it's not saying anything new. It's also not saying anything new. Like, so what am I here for? Like, what am I? Yes, it's engaging. It's not going to get a 1 star. It's not going to get a 1 star because it's engaging, but it's barking up the 2-3 tree. I feel like 3 would be too, like, whatever. It's barking up the 2 tree. It's barking up the 2 tree because I'm just like, I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. Anyways, let me tell you what this book is about. This book is about a girl who is unnamed. She lives in New York City, and basically both of her parents died when she was in college, and basically she goes to like this wacky, my favorite moments is when she goes to this wacky like psychiatrist who gives her prescriptions for medicines that help her sleep. I find the psychiatrist to be like the best character in the book, but she goes to this psychiatrist who like gives her medicine to like so she can sleep, because she just wants to sleep her entire life through. Why, we don't really know. Like I said, nothing, there's no issues in her life. Like, there's no issues in her life. I actually find she has a friend in here who comes to visit her from time to time. I find the friend more compelling than I find her, because I'm like, at least the friend, like, I feel like has some issues that would be nice to talk about, but like she has no real issues. It's just stupidness. So basically she goes to this place to get pills and tries to like sleep through her entire life. She needs to get a grip. She needs to get a grip. Like, it's just, that's literally it. There's nothing else. You're literally just going through the book. There's no real plot, nothing. You're switching through timelines. you're switching through timelines. So like sometimes you go back to her parents, sometimes you go back to her in college, sometimes you go to like the present, which is now. Like it's just flip, and sometimes it gets a little bit confusing sometimes with the timeline. It's not poorly written, it's not my style of writing, but it is easy to read. But like, this book is not changing my life. I'm gonna go. I've been talking too long. Peace. Hello, you guys. Welcome back. Can we discuss, do you guys see how long my hair is getting? I wear my hair in a mostly natural state, so like you guys never get to do length check. I'm every woman. Shaka Khan. I'm every woman. Like, I am giving Shaka Khan today. Like, it's giving, but I'm about to put box braids in my head, and so I blew her out. I blew my hair out. You know, I'm not really a heat girly. I actually hate putting heat on my hair. It's just not my gig. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm trying knotless braids for the first time on myself. Anyways, my year of rest and relaxation, a dud. I am giving this book 1 out of 5 stars. Otessa, my spec. I might be every woman, but I do not support every woman. Otessa, you have made an enemy out of me. This book, here's the thing. I've seen some people read this book and hate it, like I hate it, and they'll be like, I just didn't get it. I don't get it. I'm not giving Otessa that. I get this book. I get exactly what this book is trying to do. But like I said earlier, you cannot put on Sylvia Plath's wig and think you can write the bell jar. You cannot put on J.D. Salinger's boots and think you can write The Catcher in the Rye. Like, there is finesse that those two books have when it's talking about grief, depression, and all of those things, even with unlikable main characters. Because here's the thing, people are gonna think I hate this book because our unnamed narrator is unlikable. She's terrible. That is not why I dislike this book. This book is not adding anything new to the canon. It is not doing anything you haven't seen before, and it's doing the things you have seen done before, but worse. I believe this book it's supposed to bring in a certain group of white women. I am so sorry. This book caters to a certain group of white people who I find, intolerable. And it's just like, I get it. If this book, sums up your grief and depression story perfectly, and you love all that, fair enough. Fair enough. I can't take that away from you. But I think this book makes a mockery of grief. It makes a mockery of depression. It makes a mockery of people who are dealing with those things. And let's go to the ending. First of all, any book, this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled by any book that takes place in the 90s, in New York City, and you're going over time, somebody's gonna die in 9/11. When we went back in time and I realized 9/11 hadn't happened yet, I said someone's gonna die in 9/11. So I thought it was Trevor. I thought Trevor was going to die in 9/11. And then Reva, she got the job in the Twin Towers, and I knew how Reva's story was going to go, and I wasn't going to allow it. I wasn't going to allow it. If you watch my things I hate in books, I said I hate when characters die to further the protagonist's journey. They had my girl Reva jump out the Twin Towers. It really wasn't her. It's supposed to be like a metaphor, whatever. But she died in 9/11 just so this bitch could learn how to live her life. What is this book doing? Catcher in the Rye, which is one of my favorite classics of all time, just did it better. The angsty, I hate everyone, but I have my reasons. J.D. Salinger did it. Sylvia Plath did it. So what are we doing here? Nothing. This book gets a 1 out of 5 stars. It is by far gonna be the worst book that I read this video. I believe I've already started Project Hail Mary, and I know I'm loving that. And then I believe The 7 Husbands, The 7 Somethings of Evelyn, Hugo, whatever that book is, I'm gonna like that as well. So this is a dud. I don't recommend it. Unhaul, no. No. We are back with another wrap up. I know I should be coming to you guys with the Love Hypothesis like mid book review, but you guys, I had to finish this book because I wanted some good food. After my year of rest and relaxation, I wanted some good food. I wanted to read something that, you know, I thought I was going to really love. I want to start by saying I am not a contrarian. I am not someone who likes to go against the grain. I love beach read. I love people we meet on vacation. I love the Unhoneymooners. I love the Brown Sister trilogy. Like, I love most popular romance. Like, I am not someone who's just like, this sucks for the sake of sucking. I always hope with the best of intention. I always come into a book with the best of intentions. I hope that I like a book. So I went into The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood expecting to thoroughly enjoy it. And I didn't. Not only did I not enjoy this book, I found this book disgusting and cringy. Like, I really dislike, like, this book. If I was making a long list of the books that I did not like this year, this book would be on it. I did not enjoy this book at all. I'm going to start with some positives because I don't want to be nasty. This is Ali Hazelwood's debut novel, and I think for a debut novel, this book is... It has potential. I think a lot of people would not be able to write a debut novel this well. And so I'm going to give her that. And I think the reason why this book is popular, because I always like to see, why do people like this book if I hate it? This book, I think, appeals to people who are new to adult romance. I feel like this got very popular with a younger audience. So people who are like 18, 17, who are kind of new to adult romance. So they haven't read a lot of like steamy sex scenes, and they haven't read a lot of like office-y romance type things. So they're just been new to this type of stuff, this type of banter, this type of this. So they like really loved it, because I don't see how you can read a lot of books and love this book. Because I don't. Well, a lot of adult romance and love this book, because I don't. I absolutely do not. But I do want to say, for a debut novel, solid. But if I take it as what it is, a debut novel, solid. And this book did have some good banter. The hardest thing about writing a novel, as someone who's writing a novel, is banter. Having people communicate back and forth in a natural way. And I thought this book did that well. That's all the good things I have to say about this. So this book follows two characters, Adam and Olive. Adam and Olive, one is like a scientist at Stanford. The other is a PhD student at Stanford. Olive is the student. Adam is the teacher. Anyways, and so basically they start a fake dating thing because she wants to convince her friend that she no longer has feelings for her ex so that her best friend can date her ex. So they start this fake dating thing. Adam, he gets into the fake dating thing because he's trying to convince the people at the school that he's not gonna run away. He's not gonna leave and go to a new school. So he's putting down roots so they'll give him money so he can like fund all his science stuff. And therein lies the issue. The premise of this book is stupid. The premise of this book is so damn stupid. Adam's reason for wanting to fake date is so dumb. It's like, there's so many other ways he can prove that he's trying to put down roots. Like, so it starts off dumb. And then Olive, her reason for fake dating is also dumb. Her friends are gonna date regardless. Like, girl, you don't have to do all this for that. It starts off stupid. So let me get into Olive. First of all, anyone with the name Olive, Olivia, Oliver in a book, anything that starts with an O in a book, they're going to be the most annoying fucking main character you have ever read. For some reason, when you see Olive, Olivia, Oliver, you are going to get the most annoying main character that has ever existed. It is Corky Town. They're going to give you the most Corky character you have ever seen, and I hate Corky and books, and that is what Olive is. Olive has poor eating habits. She like rides a bike for no apparent reason. She's just quirky and weird. Like, she fumbles through, like, they're PhD students. Like, all of her friends are dumb. They're all dumb in their own way. And then everyone in this book is equally as flat. And what makes Olive's reason for fake dating so dumb is because the best friend Han is so bizarre. The best friend Han just comes into the story to get our two main characters to do like things with each other. Like, oh my gosh, you guys should like kiss, and then they go away. They go like they just don't have any purpose. Everyone in the book has no purpose. Everyone comes in the book just for the moment and then leaves. Comes in the story for a moment and then leaves. And so it's just so freaking flat. So back to Olive. Olive is a manic pixie dream girl, and I hate that term, but that's what Olive is. I am so sorry. Olive has no real flaws, like no real issue. Her reason for lying is so she can help her friend. She's in PhD. She's like doing this PhD stuff because her mom died from cancer. She's quirky. She rides a bike. She has no real issue. She's just like perfect. She's just like perfect. And then the reason why this book was already going to collapse for me is because I also hate this trope. I hate the he's mean to everyone but me, because you are already starting off having to do heavy lifting. You are going to have to prove to me why Olive is so special that Adam loves her more than he loves everyone else at the school. Because if you don't know, Adam is really mean to everyone else at school. So you're going to have to show me why does he like Olive? And most of the time the way people do that is just to show how quirky the girl is, and that falls flat. Like, Olive is just not special. Olive is just not special. And then when you throw in the whole one of my parents have cancer thing, that never hits for me. It never hits. It's a way to add angstiness to a character that ain't got much shit going on, and that's Olive. She has nothing going on, so you got to give her a dead parent. No. Olive was absolutely a no. And also, this book does a terrible job of explaining Olive. Like, she just seems flat. Like, what do we know about Olive? Like, it just seems the book was so flat. And speaking of flat, let's go to Adam. What is Adam? Adam is like a figment of Olive's imagination because he doesn't seem real. There's a sentence in here that goes like, does he have to get his shirts custom made? How big can this nigga be? How big can this nigga be? Talk about, does he have to get his shirts custom made? But that's all they tell you. He's big. He's tall. He's this. He's like they just throw all the things that you would want, I guess, in like a hero in a book, and they just give them to Adam. They give them to Adam, and you're just like, I can't even imagine Adam. I just imagine this dude on the cover because I'm just like, I don't even know what Adam is at this point. You talking about how big his fucking arms are, how big his chest is, how tall he is, and then he's just a dude who's like a scientist. I'm just like, it's just, everything is not gelling together. And so when Adam and Olive start to grow in a relationship, you never feel it. You never feel like they like each other because you're just like, what? When did y'all have time to do this? I took notes, but the thing that was really cringy about this book, it's back to the whole Adam being big. Olive felt like infantilized. Like, this was like low-key infantilization porn. Like a whole like I don't know, I'm a little girl. Like, when they're having sex scenes, there were so many like images they wanted you to draw about how small she was. She's so small, her ribs are showing. He's hovering over her. Like, they kept talking about how big he was and how small she was. Like, people love the sex scene in this book, and it's no dice for me. It's no dice for me. Like, it was so weird. It was so like, he's so big and she's so small, and this is like vulgar, sorry, but it's like his finger didn't fit in her, and then it's just like, she's so virginal and she's only been with a couple guys. It was like infantilizing, like she was a little girl. This woman has to be 26 years old, and they're acting like she's like it's weird. It was just so weird. It was so weird. I couldn't get on with it. I could not get on with it. I did not like it at all. The whole her getting sexually assaulted stuff was like there. It felt thrown in as well. Just everything just felt thrown. This just felt muddled together. And y'all put me on Allie Hazelwood tea. Somebody told me this was like possibly Adam Driver fan fiction, and then somebody else said like it was like Star Wars fan fiction. I don't know. I don't like to learn too much about my authors because they get weird. No. So yeah, no, this did not work for me out. I just can't imagine these two people dating in real life. It just seemed circumstantial. It just seemed flat. Once again, never listen to TikTok. TikTok is always going to recommend you the worst fucking book you ever read in your life. And that's on God. Like, they're always going to give you the worst book recommendation you have ever seen. Like, how is this book so damn popular? And I don't mind books being popular. That's the thing. I don't even hate when books are popular. I want books to be popular. I want more people to read. But why is always the ones that ain't good? Why are the ones that ain't good? So yeah, nothing hit for me. I thought the sex scene was going to save it. It didn't. It didn't. It was just no for me. Olive was just so childish. So childish. It was no. It was no. And then were we supposed to like not know Adam was the guy she met in the bathroom in the prologue? Because I'm just like, why are we stretching this shit out? Like, we know it's him. He know, like, what is this? I'm done. We're going to move on to the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That's next. Or we're going to move on to Project Hail Mary. I got to decide which one I'm going to do. But you'll know in the next clip. I'll know tomorrow when I pick something up. Peace. Hello, you guys. I am here for another update. So I told you guys last time I didn't know what we were going to read next, but I decided on Project Hail Mary because I wanted to know for a fact I would finish this book before this video ended, because I just knew if I didn't get this video, if I didn't read this book in this video, it might not get read all year. So Project Hail Mary is by Andy Weir. He is the author of The Martian. You might have read The Martian or watched the movie with Matt Damon, which Project Hail Mary is also going to be a movie with Ryan Gosling, I believe. So reading this, I would like to imagine Ryan Gosling in my head. Ryan Gosling Academy Award, Project Hail Mary. Let's see how that goes. Anyways, so Project Hail Mary is a book about this high school science teacher who is invited or asked to go save Earth. There is this living organism that has come to Earth and basically is like sucking up all of the Earth's energy, and basically it's going to cause mass famine, mass death. Everyone's going to be dead in 19 years if they don't figure out how this thing is like living, how to get rid of this thing. So our main character basically joins this suicide mission to go out into space and figure out what this thing is that's going to be the end of our civilization. Well, when they go into space, everyone on this mission dies except for our main character, and that is literally where the book begins. Our main character in space, everybody is dead. So this book is not my genre. I don't do science fiction. I do not at all. But I am enjoying this book. So at this point, I am on page 250, and you may ask, why am I using the back of a picture frame to bookmark my book? Because one thing about me is I am not a bookmark enthusiast. As someone who loves to read, I do not care about what bookmark I put in my book. I will dog ear my book for all I care, but I literally find the closest thing to me, which is sometimes a bookmark, sometimes it's the back of a picture frame, and I shove it in my book and I call it a day. Now, I would not recommend you read this book like routinely. I do recommend you read it routinely. Like, pick it up and be like, I'm gonna finish this in a couple days. That is not how I recommend you read this book. If you're gonna physically read this book, I recommend that you do what I'm doing. Read it before bed. Read it before bed every night, because this book, I love to use this word, but this book is very dense. It is very info dumpy. And if you are not into science fiction, like I'm not into science fiction, the info can become a lot. But if you go into this being like, I'm down for the ride, like what's going to happen in this book, I believe this book is enjoyable. I know some people do not enjoy this book, but like I enjoy hearing about what is going on in outer space. I'm not going to spoil anything like the stuff that I am enjoying, but I'm enjoying, like, this is not something I would want to read on the beach. This is not something I'll probably pick up again. This is not something that like I look forward to every single day, but I I have a routine. At the end of the day, I read it. And so I enjoy it. Like, I don't know, I knock out 20, 30, 40 pages and I call it a day. And like, you learn new things. Like, there's just, because this is so out of my wheelhouse, the things that I'm learning is just fascinating to me. It's just a little fascinating. It's a little fascinating to me. What, like, kill me. I find this kind of fascinating. Overall, do I have any critiques? Okay, so I feel like we're working up to a big moment. And like, I'm curious what that big moment is. That's why I'm also continuing to read. Like, realism, this doesn't seem very realistic. Science teacher goes off into space, but you know, I'm down for that too. I don't know, I really don't have anything negative to say except that, oh, the main character is too quirky. If I get on the girls for being too quirky, I gotta get on the dudes for being too quirky. He is like a middle-aged quirky white man, and I can't do it. I cannot do it. He thinks he's so fucking funny, and it's just like, I don't do quirky men either. Same way I don't do quirky white women, I don't do quirky white men either. He's a little unserious sometimes, but like, I don't know, he's just a little quirky. He's a little quirky, and like, I don't know about that. This is also going back and forth in timeline. So before he went to space, while he's in space, it's doing stuff like that. But I like it. Yeah, I'll give you my final thoughts on the end. I always like to tell you what I think we're barking up. We're barking up the 4 tree easily. This book is not going to get 5 stars. This book is not going to get 5 stars because it's not my genre. It's just simply not my genre. But I do think this could get 4, 4.5 if it ends interestingly. But I could see why this book just isn't for everyone. It's dense. It's a lot. It's not a fast read. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this in a couple of days and y'all will see me back here in a couple of days. And yeah, I'll tell you how it goes. Hello, you guys. The knotless braids I was telling you guys about clips ago, they're done. We're here. Anyways, I have finished Andy Weir's project Hail Mary, and remember this clip. This book is not going to get 5 stars. This book is not going to get 5 stars because it's not my genre. It's just simply not my genre. Yeah, I'm a liar. This book is getting 5 out of 5 stars for me. This book is getting 5 out of 5 stars. Now, here is the thing. On enjoyment level, I would give this book 4 out of 5 stars, but I am giving this book an extra star because remember in Otessa Mosfe, I was like, I don't respect this book. I don't respect the craftsmanship of this book, the message of this book, the themes of this book, the writing of the book. It's the complete opposite here with Andy Weir. I respect the hell out of Andy Weir and what he was able to do with writing this book. A lot of times when people make science fiction books, they kind of go on loose math, loose science, because they really don't want to get into the meat and potatoes, so they have their world follow its own rules or whatever. This book is so science heavy, it's so math heavy, it's so that, and Andy Weir kept to the conventions of Earth, and he was able to explain all of this stuff in a way that usually myself would never understand, but I understood it. I was invested, and it's just like this long book just about trying to save Earth. I don't know. To me, there's no big crescendo. There's no huge moment. It's just, you just want to save Earth. I don't know, you're just along for the ride. Andy Weir has made it so like you're along for the ride the entire time. You care so much. I don't want to spoil it, but the thing I'm saying I don't want to spoil, I adored it. The ending, I adored the ending because I had so many questions about what would happen if this, and this. And so the ending was perfect to me. I enjoyed this book through and through. I really, really did. I wouldn't recommend this book to everyone. Some people may think it's slow. Some people may think it may be too much information, too dumpy, not enough action, but I just enjoyed it. I did. Anyways, we are going to move on to our last book of this video, and it is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I will see you guys in those clips. So I have begun The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just want to give a shout out to Taylor Jenkins Reid. She is releasing like hit after hit after hit. Like, y'all love this woman. I didn't realize, I started reading Malibu Rising in my own time. That's by Taylor Jenkins Reid as well. Like, the girl got hits, I guess. Anyway, so I started The 7 Lives of Evelyn Hugo. So The 7 Lives of Evelyn Hugo follows like 2 people. We're following like a journalist, this biracial journalist who is like, for some strange reason we don't know yet, is chosen to like come and interview Evelyn Hugo on some dresses that she's giving to charity. But all of a sudden, when she goes to meet Evelyn Hugo wants her to write her autobiography. Evelyn Hugo is this big Hollywood, old Hollywood star, beautiful, but she's old now. And so basically she wants someone to write an autobiography on her. So she is telling this biracial journalist all of her secrets, but the biracial journalist doesn't know why Evelyn Hugo picked her specifically to do this job, because she and Evelyn Hugo have like no connection at all. Of course they have some connection. If we continue to read the book, we're gonna find out why she chose her. I have a few things. Either she was in love with her grandfather, either she's like related to her in some way. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like she's giving this to her because she feels like she owes her something, or something along those lines. I'm thinking maybe that's her like they could be related in some way. He was in love with her, she was in love with her grandfather, something like that. I don't know. That's my guess, but I'll keep going. I don't have any thoughts on if it's good or not. This is all going to be depending on how interesting Evelyn Hugo's life. Like, am I enthralled in Evelyn Hugo's life? I believe I'm on chapter 10. I believe my book is downstairs because I'm about to go to bed. I believe I'm on chapter 10, and so far, like, I'm enjoying it. I like being in Evelyn, like hearing Evelyn Hugo's story. Now, I am not one of those people who are enthralled by the femme fatale, that trope, the like sexualized woman who like uses her sexuality to get ahead. A lot of people love that. I believe that without nuance, without conversation, it's useless. Like, if we're not going to have the full conversation, then it's useless. It doesn't just entertain me as is. It needs more. So I'm seeing where that's going. I don't hate it, but like, I need more than just the femme fatale uses her sexuality to move up the ladder. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It just doesn't engage But we'll see how that goes. Like, I'm liking the conversation surrounded by it, but it has to do something I haven't seen other books do. Like, I mean, when you take books like Sister Carrie, even The Age of Innocence, I want to kind of say, who have all touched on those topics excellently. Like, I use Sister Carrie as an example for everything. That book just covers everything. When you take a book like Sister Carrie and what it did with that exact same thing, you gotta really do something to shake the table for me. But anyways, I'm gonna come back with my final thoughts and we're gonna wrap this video up. And yeah, peace. Hello, you guys. It is that time to wrap up the video. I have finished The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. First of all, I want to say one of my favorite sentences that I have read this year is when Monique asked Evelyn how does she feel about people only talking about the fact that she had 7 husbands and not her work, and she was like, they might be the 7 husbands, like, I might have 7 husbands, but they're just husbands and I'm Evelyn Hugo. Like, iconic, because period, like, let's be clear, they're attached to me. So overall, I am going to give this book, I'm gonna just go ahead and give it 4 stars. Like, I was thinking 3.5, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4 stars. I will not be joining the cult of people who are obsessed with this book. I will not be joining the cult of people who are very excited for the movie or not excited because it's going to Netflix and it's a movie. I will not be joining. I do not care. I do not care about the movie. I just simply do not. But this was a good read. This was honestly a good read. I barely have anything negative to say about it. Of course, I love the sapphic element. The sapphic element is the best part of this entire thing, and all of this stuff. I could write a whole dissertation on her having 7 husbands, but being sapphic and what that means when it comes to being a lesbian or bi and like queer, and having patriarchy be such a big part of your story. Like, I can write a whole dissertation on how deep that is, but I will not do that today. The reason why this does not blow me out of the water is, first and foremost, I saw the Monique reveal from a mile away. So much so that I thought, actually, spoilers, I guess, I thought the first guy that Harry was with, I thought that was like her grandfather or something. It's like I saw it a mile away. I saw it a mile away. But because the reveal didn't come to the end, I was kind of doubting myself. And I found the Monique character kind of just like, I ain't caring nothing about that girl had girl. I did not care nothing about what that girl had going on with the husband, her mama, even the dad. I did not care. I did not care. I'm so sorry. I did not care. So that was already points off. And then Evelyn's story, like, the last few husbands was just like da 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 da. But if you just take this as a sapphic love story, you love it. What I love the most is I love the stickiness of Cecilia and the stickiness of Evelyn. I love that they didn't have this perfect romance. I love that they were complicated. Like, Cecilia was a jealous bitch, you know? And then I love all of them. This is all spoilers. I love all of them dying in the end. This book was just really solid. This book was just really solid. No, I'm not obsessed. No, this would not be one of my favorite books that I read this year, but solid all around. I'm giving it 4. Okay, we're wrapping up this video. So, we have 2 books that I did not enjoy. I'm giving both of these books, well, 2-star, 1-star. I'm giving this book 1-star, this book 2-star, which is so shocking because in the beginning I'm like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be maybe a 5-star. Did not like either of them. Despise this. Thought this was clunky. No, 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 no. Y'all were dead wrong. It is no shock that TikTok loves these books because they have the worst fucking taste you've ever seen. Then, lovely for us, we have 3 4-star books. And you want to know what? I know that I rated all of these. No, we have 1 5-star. I know that I rated all of these perfectly because I genuinely feel the same way about all these. Like, these 2 books, y'all are gonna take a screenshot or a screen clip and drag me for this, but I feel the same way about both of these books. Like, I really do. Like, I enjoyed both. Sorry, I enjoyed these books maybe this one a little bit more, but this was more compelling because this is more my genre. So yes, I enjoyed this more. When it comes to like how I feel the overarching narrative and everything, I feel exactly the same. So I am perfectly okay with giving maybe this 3.5, this 4. Like, I feel the same. And I genuinely believe out of all the books that I read, Project Hail Mary is the best one. So I'm solid. I feel oh so good about what we did. 5 books, 5 popular books. I think in the beginning I told you guys these books came out like in the past 2 years. Baby, that is simply not true. Evelyn and Hugo came out in like 2019. Project Hail Mary, I don't think, like, these came out in the past few years. Anyways, I love you guys so much. If you want to see my reviews on this, I don't think I did really in-depth review, go to Goodreads and you can watch that. Also, I know you guys are wondering, have you talked about the Will Smith slap? Yes, I did. Go over to Patreon and watch that. And if you're watching this video way in the future, I kind of just dated this video by saying the Will Smith slap. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you guys in the next one.